Then the referee's going to go watch the match, okay, and pretty much watch the trees and touch penalties, which I'll go in detail towards the end. Now to answer your question, okay, well, we'll just do this in order. As far as the score sheet goes, the treasure map.
No, but we're going to go back to the raft.
Yeah, we're going to go back to it. We're just going to
It's
go
the
down
first thing on the score sheet.
My answer is yes, I'm going
No,
yes.
well, we already done the raft.
No, what I'm asking you,
We
let's
still
say
have
they hand it to
questions
me
about the
attached,
raft.
and then they decide, and presumably they're gonna
I'm
put it
gonna
in the
answer
safe
that question
zone,
for the
and then unattach it. Do they get their 25 points now? Because the match hasn't started
Once the
yet.
referee, once you're presented,
Okay,
once the referee's presented this, you judge this.
okay.
Okay.
That's
So
my
if
question,
they
is
do-
it when it's presented to
So
you?
you write
or
down,
when the
go to
match
your score
starts?
sheet and mark that.
Yep, so if
Okay.
they present it to you attached, you don't say attached or unattached, you just mark yes or no.
Got it.
And you don't really show the students the score sheet.
Right.
And then subsequently, they unattach it, it was presented to you
That,
attached.
yes, that was my
Or
question.
on the way over here,
Okay,
it's not.
score sheet does not say anything to you about the student presenting it.
Yes,
So
it
if you-
does. On mine it does.
The Excel score sheets and your score, does team have an escape raft made of Legos? Is there at least one minifig on the escape
It's
raft?
in the mission that the
I
students have.
understand that. What I'm trying to ask is, you get there, you need to score it, the kid is nervous and they're getting all their stuff ready. Do you see anything wrong with them saying, I need to see your escape raft?
I mean, I ain't gonna deny the referee's gonna come up and say, can I see your escape raft, so they have a lot to do. But the coaching of the students and the action of the students is responsibility of the coach. The responsibility of the referee is not to coach, not to aid, not to strategize for the students. The responsibility of this referee is to score, plain and simple.
And after the first round, you'll have told him, I didn't give you
So-
points because you handed it to
Yeah,
me
so the
attached.
first mistake, you would have told them after you review it with them.
Right.
When you handed it to me, and maybe in your scenario, when you handed it to me, it was like this.
And I'm saying, what if
So-
the student doesn't hand it to you, it's still sitting on the table, but it's there and it's ready?
The students
So,
need to be
so in other
coached.
words, if they hand you just that,
No,
No,
I'm
like they
telling
don't
you,
hand it, like they
you
just
Oh,
leave
oh,
it there,
oh,
like
oh.
it's just sitting here.
I'm
just
not
get rid of
worried
the
about,
points.
I'm not worried about that. That is the coach's responsibility. Plain and simple, the coach.
So
not
you
giving
do not want the
instruction.
ref saying,
I'm not
going
gonna deny that the refs may come in, can I see your ref? Because I know they do it.
Right.
I'm not gonna deny that. That's the first question. But as a strategy, if the ref says, can I see your raft, all your minifigs attached, unattach it. No,
Got
not that.
well, either we need to say it or we don't. I mean, if we're gonna be consistent from,
I could just tell you that across the state, if I told you don't say anything, you're gonna have half of them say yes, or inquire, half not. So the
Because they're
coach's
looking at the score sheet and
responsibility
it
is to prepare the
says-
student. The coach has to prepare their student. The coach has got the documents to prepare
The
the
ref
student.
doesn't know all
The
that.
ref doesn't need to know that.
The refs, it says, does the team have an escape raft? And the ref
And if they
is
don't
gonna
present
say
it to the
kid,
referee, he's gonna check no.
No, he's not. He's gonna say, do you have, we're showing
Well,
your escape raft.
if,
or he's gonna look in the safe zone and say, yep, they've got one, without even asking them.
Because that's all the score sheet shows.
So based off the score sheet, the ref is not to ask. If they give them the benefit of the doubt, that is the benefit to the team, but the ref is not supposed to ask, can I see your ref? If the team walks up, like you said, the coach should coach them to make sure that they go, hey
It
ref,
just needs to be a
here
statement that
is
coach
my
is-
ref. That is how it's supposed to be. The ref, if the ref asks them, that's a benefit to the team, but not necessarily how they're supposed to handle it.
I mean, I
So
know there's a
help
lot
make
of
it-
responsibility with the coaches in preparing these kids, but I have reiterated it time and time again, year after year, new coach, old coach.
Right.
You are responsible, public speaking, to get your students prepared.
So
And I
why don't we just
understand
do
there's
that?
not
I mean, if that's
a
what you want.
consistent pattern from teacher to teacher. But still, as a strategy, the referee
Is there
can't
a
do
score
that
sheet?
balancing act among everybody.
Well, I
Could we
put
warn
student
them in
present
the coaches
Yeah,
meeting,
yeah.
or remind them in the coaches
And I
meeting?
had that
Yeah.
to begin with, and I changed
You as
it.
a
that
host,
be
or
going
as
to
a
the referee?
referee, can communicate to your coaches in the coaches meeting as you see fit.
So you get a one-time, everybody attending the coaches meeting, here's what we expect. They walk up.
And they hand the
When they're ready,
referee
they present to us
Absolutely.
Right.
with it laying in there. And then, now we've said that to everybody,
Yeah.
now we can be a little
You
tougher
can
on them.
communicate anything relating to your tournament in the coaches meeting,
Good.
about the match, not about the match.
So Steve,
And if
I'm
they
gonna
still
make
don't
that a
hand it
change
to
on
you,
the
or
score
still don't
sheet.
whatever,
Student
then when you
presents.
review that round with them,
I'll
and you
send
tell
you-
them
I've got
after
an
the
old
first
copy.
round,
I'll
I
send
you
didn't
one.
give you points because X, Y,
Yeah.
Z.
And I hate to say it's harsh, but there's a learning curve for some of these students.
That's why there's three chances.
If it's the rule, it's the rule.
I mean, you're,
I'm just asking, because when I
Right,
first made the score sheet, I put it, that's how I put it on there, because that's what the mission said. Your score sheet didn't have it.
but
so I
see,
put it
don't
on
read the
there.
mission file. That's why my score sheet's different than the mission, because this is intended to be separate. So in other words, you don't know anything about this challenge. You can look at the score sheet and answer these questions without respect to any other coaches' related documents.
Didn't say anything about presenting.
You know, this one's a lot like the finish one. They literally, West End, hands up, time. And so we now, if they don't raise their hands and they say time, the referee's just sitting there kind of, the clock's still going, you know, and if the clock runs out, then we put down no time left there too. And then, during the briefing, we'll say, you know.
I wouldn't even answer that. I would, because
Not even during the briefing? I mean, the scoring?
as far as
You wouldn't?
as far as
I would
time
only
goes, I
answer
would
if
not,
they
I would
ask.
not, I would not bring up, I mean, as a courtesy, if you want to do some things, yes. But round one, he didn't say time, the clock went from 30 seconds
Right.
down to 0, and you mark 0. He will learn, or the team will learn, well, but you didn't say time. And this is a coach, you got to separate,
Or
some
you
of you
didn't
who are
raise-
coaches, got to
Right,
separate the coaches' duties.
But I'm saying when
and
you're
the
going
referees'
to,
duties.
it was okay for you to tell them then. I don't mean in the coaches meeting at the start. I mean, we're going over it with
When
them.
you review with them, you tell them
The
yes,
score.
why you scored positively, and no,
Okay.
why you scored
Okay,
negative.
that'd be
You can
okay then.
explain to them why they didn't receive their 25 points.
Got it.
Because
Okay.
At that
they-
point.
Because they gave you that,
Yes.
even if they took it off
And-
and ran the mission right,
And
because they
many,
didn't want to lose the mini thing.
and many referees will recognize that the robot is done with 30 seconds to go. And they're just standing there with their clipboard. And they know they're looking for the student to say something. And they're just watching the clock.
Yeah.
It's a strategy if you provide, do you want to call time?
Yeah.
Should you call time? It's a strategy.
Is there
And it
something
could
you
be
should
the
say?
difference between two teams of equal score, one getting first, one getting second.
Okay,
The
let me
strategy
tell you
was
that.
provided by an
3 seconds.
outside source, so it's an unfair advantage provided.
Right, that makes sense.
Right.
I agree with that.
Okay? The teacher, the common element is the teacher. And while granted, teachers are different from school to school and team to team, the common element is the teacher that should teach the students.
They're getting the same grade.
Hey, one other thing I got from what you just said too, about having both, I didn't think, you know, but you're right, they'll have one mounted and one here. If this literally had his arms out and, you know, it stayed on there and the robot got under its arm to lift it up, it's just, you just said, it's just another Lego piece, this one is. This is the one that's counting. So literally they could do that because it's just
Well, see,
another
like you
Lego
got the
piece.
hole in the air pack in the back.
Yeah, with the
So they
little,
could actually put an axle or some device through there to actually maneuver the robot.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
okay.
that's what this is intended for. The design of this is for them to use an axle or some kind of device
Poke
to
it.
fork
it's
it
like a fork.
and then drop it, catch on the scorpion, and slide out. That's why in the instructions to the team, building instructions state, make sure it's facing outward, not sideways, because it's harder to put the axle in.
Ah,
So many times, and it's one thing, the referee, the host, the teacher, we've all got different responsibilities. And as a coach, you're learning some things that can possibly help. That's why some of these strategies, I don't want you taken back to the classroom if you're a teacher, because you have overlooked some of the classroom activities and now I've given you the answer here in training. Okay? So this video will not be provided to the teachers. This video will be provided to the host, and the host will disseminate it to the referees that are,
Who could be.
who could be a teacher or a coach. Okay?
Yeah, based on what you just said there. Oh crap. Senior moment, never mind. Yeah.
Okay? All right. So,
I'll come up with a minute.
So, and some teams have actually practiced with that upside down. The proper location is for the dimples downward so that it glides as opposed to cuts.
Got it.
So some teams have been practicing in the wrong way. That is the correct way. Okay? The other thing is, when we're talking about the mission pieces and setting them up, I got a little cutesy. The tree, the branches, the leaves, bad design. They fall off. Won't happen next year. The treasure pedestal thing there, bad design,
At the bottom?
it falls apart quite easily. Okay? There is no penalty for destruction of the mission objects because of bad design. The arm, the waterfall, decoration, didn't need to be there. Again, if it just gets destroyed, it gets destroyed. So these objects around the board, I got too cute this year. So when the teams do things, unless it is intentional destruction, you take a bulldozer and go all the way around kind of deal, because I don't want, that's not the purpose. But unless, you know, if they're attempting to lower that arm over there and in the process of lowering their arm destroys that, you as a referee, unfortunately, got to reconstruct it. There's no
Oh.
penalty to the students.
That's what came to mind is if I'm correct, you showed videos on putting everything together. Last year you had written instructions too, or the year before last.
I haven't done
'Cause
written instruction for 2 or 3 years.
For assembly?
Yeah.
Because I used to print those and then if we
Yeah,
got
I
there.
don't have them.
Okay, so we just have to pull up the video.
Pretty much
in the middle of the
everybody,
match.
everybody over the last, probably Mars is the last time I did it. Because Mars doesn't have very good support videos, so the documents are more there. But after Mars, I kind of, you've been gone so long, man.
No, I was there last year. I haven't missed a year. I just did it in Berea.
You just don't respond to my emails, apparently.
Well, there was nothing.
I don't feel the love anymore.
I'm not in charge of it there, so I don't respond, the person in charge.
Okay. So,
But, and here's why, when we get there, coaches don't, they say, here, put these parts together, some of them do, and the kids do a horrible job many times of putting their
well,
stuff
I will
together.
tell you, 5 years ago, I went to a regional tournament, and the host had 4 boards. They had 2 sets themselves and 2 were borrowed. Okay? The 2 that were borrowed were constructed correctly. It was the Mars Adventure, as a matter of fact, were constructed correctly. The 2 that the host brought were constructed incorrectly. So the host now receive pre-assembled mission objects. Now granted, they practice many times and they
If
fall
they want to
apart.
buy them.
No, the host gets them for free. You got yours for free, though. The mission objects were pre-assembled.
You got them assembled for free.
The host gets them for free. The teacher, the school, if they want them, they pay for that.
But if
Pretty
you don't,
simple.
but if you didn't buy any, they didn't come assembled if you didn't buy them.
They're assembled.
That's not what I'm saying, but we paid for them.
You do not pay to get them assembled.
No, but we had to pay for so a host may decide not to buy any. We have had some years we didn't buy any at all. If we didn't buy
Correct.
any at all, they wouldn't come assembled.
Well, you guys, you and Jefferson County are the only 2 counties that the host is not a school. I mean, you guys, because of the size of your district, you guys buy it district-wide, where the other regional host, the school who bought it, is actually hosting the tournament. So, but yeah, even you guys, when you guys, I mean, I don't know the year when you guys haven't bought at least 1 set. And ever since Mars, you guys have got that set.
I'm just trying to clarify the set wasn't free.
Okay, so anyway, the videos, there are the documents with the videos, and that one there, that one there, and that one there. I can see just a kind of a quick glance. If you're gonna have 4 tables down there, you guys got 6 or 7 sets in your district. Maybe ask the other schools to bring their spare sets so that those pieces are sitting at the side. So you can switch them in and out. Because that's what I'm gonna do at state, that's what I'm gonna do at the tournament up in northern Kentucky. I'm gonna have 2 or 3 of these mission objects set to the side so that when things get destroyed, I can switch them out and have another person off-site repair them. So, because these Legos right now haven't been used very much, but these 2 especially, with use, the connectability gets weaker. So they fall apart quicker. Okay, and usually this falls apart above the ground.
I just spend part of my Friday night, I'm the only person there, rebuilding stuff, because when I look at this table, that one, none of them are the same.
And that goes
So then I
back
go to
to,
the plans and say what it's supposed to be, and then rebuild them according to that.
and that goes back to the coach. And I know
I know.
again, they're very different.
I can tell you the coaches.
And that's where many times at a tournament, coaches will question me, well, mine don't look that way.
Right.
And then with 1 or 2 questions, I realize that their students, through practice, have absconded with some of the pieces, have reconstructed it to their liking, and unfortunately for the teacher, I mean, there's some management that the teacher has to maintain, but it just kind of, I got almost 200 schools doing it now, and the best thing I can do is put the documents back out there for them to deal with it on an ongoing basis.
I accept that it's our job as the head referees to make sure everything's the same.
So-
When they bring their 7 minifigs, it can be any minifigs, right? And as long as they've got the head, the body, they've got to have the basic parts of a minifig, right?
You're missing a piece.
Isn't that right?
We're missing a piece.
Yes. It didn't come with any
Oh, is it
my box.
missing? Okay.
So
There's
right,
one here too.
to count as a minifig, it's got to have all the parts of a minifig or it doesn't count.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So,
I would
All right.
accept the hands,
All right.
as long as the arm was there.
so now we're going to go around the table and we're going to score these
All
objects.
right, let's do this.
Okay, so, on the score sheet, this is what the referee is going to see at the end of time. So time has gone to 0, okay? So, the first question, the treasure map. Is it in? As long as it's in the safe zone, it scores. Partially or completely, it scores. It does not matter how the team gets it back to the safe zone, it's at the team's discretion. So if they want to catch it, they want to drop it and scoop it up, doesn't matter. As long as it's in the safe zone, so we'll leave that one there.
And the outside edge of the line is,
So the outside
the border.
edge of the safe zone is considered in.
okay, yep.
Okay? The next one to score is the
Thank
pig.
you.
Now for this one, again, this question, the pig comes to the safe zone partially or completely in. Okay? And again, with the robot, when the robot is maneuvering with these items, and for some reason the robot has the map back there, the robot is in, the map is in. Okay? So just know that the physical object does not have to be in as long as the robot, it's all part of one and the same.
Pulling it, pushing it,
Yep.
dragging it.
Mhm. The pig is here. Is the treasure? This guy's here, the treasure. Is he in the safe zone? Yes or no? For a score.
And in case, I think Josh and Ashley may both know, but, or picked it up from the last meeting, but the black line is, once you've touched part of the safe
Yep,
zone, or
any
the
part of the black
outline
line
of
is
it,
in.
that's part of it too.
Yep. So the next one is the materials. The materials are lined up. The orange will never be in that position. Because it gives too much. So the referees will randomly place these across the line, and the orange can be anywhere from position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the orange can go position 1 to 4. Brown and gray just fill the rest of the void. Okay? So, and you try to put that on top of the line the best you can. As the team comes by, all they have to do is nudge it. And if you know as a referee who set it up that it's been nudged, it's a positive score. All right? Again, with the orange, all you do is say yes or no pretty much. Did it move or not? They want to take these back to the safe zone for a higher score. They can. Again, they can take the orange one there. We want them to not move the orange, preferably. This is designed for a light sensor or color sensor. And there are other options to get it back, but the intent is to use a light sensor or color sensor to identify the objects and affect only those gray and brown objects. Okay? So these objects are in the safe zone. Those 4 objects, or 4 mission objects, are in the safe zone.
And if they had brought the orange back, that's gonna cost them 75% of
Well,
what they earn.
as long as the orange stays here, they get all the points.
Right.
If the orange is moved any, it's a negative 75% of the total value of all 4 pieces. Okay? So,
It doesn't matter whether it's moved back or not.
doesn't
You
matter.
moved it all.
As far as scoring goes, like, if you're going to nudge these, and in the process you actually are trying to retrieve them, and you nudge them, and you wind up losing control of 1 or 2 of them, this is equivalent to a nudge.
Right.
It's only when it hits the
That's what we're
safe
talking
zone.
about.
And
Minus
again,
75%.
yep, and then
Minus
this is
this.
partially in, so that scores
Right,
completely out the nudge, partially in, completely in. Okay?
got it.
Okay.
So on the scoring sheet, the 0-0 is it hasn't been touched at all, right?
Correct, so if on the orange material you put 0, that means it hasn't been touched.
Okay.
If you put 1 in the field, that means it's just out here somewhere outside the safe zone, 2 is in the safe zone. It really has no value, it's just more to be consistent with the other questions so that you're basically answering the same thing.
Okay.
The referee doesn't have to second guess. Okay. The next thing, the escape raft. Now you got your escape raft with your minifig, and you, as you explained, this one's got one attached, one unattached. There's no score for outside, light blue for that ring, dark blue for that ring. If for some reason there are multiple minifigs and this guy is hanging over, no score.
Touching.
The minifig's gotta be in the container, and if he's out, no score. And obviously if it's not in there at all, it's no score.
If for whatever reason there's more than one minifig and one minifig is in and the other one is not,
You have, if
like,
I would say if you have 2 unattached minifigs, or multiple, it's the chance the team takes for being cute.
okay.
If you have an unattached one and one that is intended to be a Lego brick, that falls off because it's broken away and now unattached. Now unfortunately, that would become, he's outside, the shark's gonna eat him.
Right.
Okay?
So
So
again,
basically,
if he's
I'm
hanging
saying-
over,
He's
that's
not supposed to hang over at all. He's
Okay.
supposed to be
So he
within,
has to be within the raft. So
Within the
even
raft.
though we have 2 and one of them's in, we're gonna say that's a no score.
because he's hanging outside.
Okay.
The shark's
All
gonna
right.
eat him.
Got it. All right.
Right. The next one is which fish. So you take your fishing net and the words.
Doug,
I
I'm
didn't see
sorry.
that one.
So
Tiger's not involved,
I got lost on the
or the lion.
whatever, but
Tiger.
so as long as he's in the raft
He's
and
gotta be
it's
in.
touching this,
And
it's
the
good.
raft is touching, yeah.
Just the raft.
Yeah.
Okay. all right.
Even if the
Just wanna make
minifig
sure.
hasn't broken the plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Call it a raft.
It's any part of the raft. But if
But
he's
if
hanging out, his head's
minifig
hanging
is
out, it's a no.
Breaking the plane of the raft.
Okay. So like, one of the things I'm gonna say is regional hosts apply this differently. And this video will help regional hosts apply it uniformly, but there's still gonna be variations from region to region. All I can say is at regions, because there is some leniency, when you get to state, it's gonna be the most restrictive version of the rules possible. So if for some reason a regional host or the referees judge light at a regional level, when they get to state, it's gonna be harsh. So it effectively should be the best teams. So therefore, the best team should have answered this thing in a way that was likely not gonna be questionable anyway. So, but at state, it's going to be more harsh, okay? Just like with the quad platform at state, there's been matches where I've had 3 and 4 robots try to affect the quad. On a regional level, other than you guys with as many teams for high school and middle school, typically 1, maybe 2. And then they typically be from the same school, so. But at state, there's 3 and 4 maybe.
And typically the coach wrote the program, help them build it.
Well, we have discussed doing a technical kind of interview process, but the regional hosts have, they're volunteers, their time
I've got
is,
2 schools.
it's just
Every one of
adding
their teams.
hours of extra work to
Even
it.
elementary.
Uh-huh.
So we've discussed that, but it's not gonna happen. So, but anyway, we're going to the fishing net. So as far as the fish, you got 4 choices. They basically get smaller in size. The word is not a fish. So when you take the fishing net, you come out here, you cover the school, cover the tuna, partially or completely over the tuna, dolphins, and jellyfish. Okay? Partially or completely. I have had teams asking if this is a good strategy. That is acceptable. Okay, the fishing net is above. So if for some reason they want to wad this up in a little ball, put them on there, that's acceptable. The thing is, with any mission object, they cannot take the mission object and attach it to another Lego of any source. Even like with the trees, you can't attach 2 mission objects together. So if for some reason the fishing net or whatever other deliverable they're trying to do, they have Legos attached,
Never, okay. But you said that's not acceptable?
well,
Okay,
That's
okay,
not acceptable.
okay. But what we're talking about mainly is the object, yeah, the picture.
so if they have it on the fish, good. If it's just the word, no. So there is a potential that it's just touching part of the word. That's a no. Okay? So,
Yeah.
okay. The next one is the plane. The plane is seated with the slide shoe on the bottom and the white and green 1x2 tiles on top. The slide shoe being on the bottom has a smooth surface. While this is smooth, the referee will place it this way over the outline, and the team is to move it to line 1, 2, or 3. And the key word in there is touch. So if, for example, the nose cone is over line 3, but is not touching the line, that is a no. And it's got to touch the line, not that they grab it and throw it out. It's got to be on the line. So the team has to maneuver that in a controlled fashion, not just pretend they're playing baseball and hit it out of the park. Okay.
Even if it by some fluke ends up on a line by just smacking it?
At the end of time, whatever that looks like, however they got it there,
Okay.
is
Fine.
what works. All right, the next one's scorpion cages. Now the scorpions are going to come off. So they can be any position on this tile here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. When the team got the scorpion cage, the feet of the scorpion cage were in a downward position. Okay, so most of them will attempt to score by placing the cage on top. All right, so partially or completely on top or partially counts as a score, right? Teams may take the scorpion cage and flatten it out
Lay it on it.
and lay it on it. Again, partially or completely. These pieces are mobile. The team, and this is one of the strategies because most teams will not think to do this. So if you are a coach, please do not share this. This is one of those strategies where they can take, because of the design and the piece, they can physically take those pieces and move them. Most pieces they can't, but that one they can. Okay?
That counts because it's,
Partially.
okay.
So, and the scorpion is the thing. So, for example, if your judgment, that little corner, it's not over the scorpion, but it's over that corner, it's not over a scorpion.
Okay.
So as a referee, that's your judgment call.
Partial still.
And if in the process they knock the scorpion off its little platform?
Well, that's the one thing that maybe we need to discuss.
Because I can totally see a team deciding, I'm gonna put these up as high as I can, and I'm just gonna push it like this, and let's say we do that.
Well, that's the one thing
Pop it
where,
right off.
where, talking about this square here, we just said that if it's not over the scorpion, it don't count.
Right.
But through the action of the robot, it knocked it off. We have to judge that square. So why don't we say if it's, the scorpion is not necessarily the scoring mechanism as much as the gray square, as long as it's partially over the gray square, because potentially if that's gone, that area there is still the scoring area.
Is that going to contradict whenever we say we knock something off?
I'm going to go with design of the mission object
Got it.
is the problem. Because in the past, we've had some things where as things got moved, no fault of the student, my fault, we still benefit the student. So this is the scoring square.
So if it's the scoring square and the scorpion's on there, but it doesn't cover the scorpion,
The square is the scoring.
we're still gonna go with the square and not the
Square.
scorpion.
Yeah.
I guess my only issue is, and I know you designed this to be basically lifted and put on, but if somebody literally just bulldozes this through
And keeps on going.
and just keeps on
And
going
knocks it
until
off.
these catch the back.
Oh, they could catch, couldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I understand it.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're okay with that.
So if
And-
we're over here, does that
As long
count?
as we
It
all
has
do
to
the
be, it has
same
to be
thing.
here.
Okay, even if it's over the scorpion? Or are you gonna say either or?
It's gotta be here.
Yeah.
It's gotta be here. The one thing as a coach,
I'll say I
as you're
hope
trying to
so.
teach your students.
Right.
Just like with the light sensor, color sensor,
Thank you.
you can use motoring action
Oh, sure.
attachments to do this.
Because
I
I've taught my
encourage-
kids to go and say, run, and they make 5 different programs, and I'm like, you run 3, 4, and 5. And it pulls 3, 4, and 5 out and doesn't touch number
And I
1.
don't like when you do that.
But when you have 8-year-olds, that's the first step.
I know. But either way, I want you,
Right.
the paper is black and white, the ink, black and white. I want you as a teacher to teach these kids in the gray area
Right.
to try to do things that they think. I mean, you teach them,
Right,
you
right.
give them options
Right.
and direction. But instead of, this is one of those things where 9 out of 10 schools are not going to do that, or
No.
teams are not going to do that.
Oh, I like that idea.
But if
Way
they
better
do
than-
that, that student, that team has just thought
Right.
outside of the box. And that's what I want them to do, think outside the box.
See, that's
Okay.
partial.
And it is, yeah, no, that one I'm,
I'd give them a partial.
right. I just wanted to avoid the bulldozer answer.
I mean, the bulldozer answer, many times, the bulldozer answer, like with pieces falling apart, I've never seen a team approach the challenge and just kind of go out there and destroy
Right.
everything, collect
No.
it. But I'm
But it
still
might-
waiting
but it
for the
might
day
for
that a team
individual
does that.
one.
Not intentionally, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing in my rules that says you can't do it.
Right.
But the intent is for you to learn to manipulate.
Doug, just to
this.
be clear, this is a 0, right?
It has to be over this.
Just to be clear.
It has to be over that, yep.
Okay.
So I'm gonna change the score, this thing, it says scorpion caged, partially or completely over gray box. Is what I'm gonna put on the scoring sheet,
That's what needs to be.
on our scoring sheet.
But he's saying that's
We're
a
using
no,
this scoring sheet, not that one.
even though it's over the gray, but it's
No,
over the
with,
score.
if we're going with the gray box, that's a
Okay, then
yes.
we'll just say gray
That's
box,
a
gray
yes.
box.
That's
Okay.
a yes.
That's partial right there.
So
Yeah.
that counts, okay.
So that's the one thing
Okay.
that, because of the scorpion being moved,
Right.
we've got to look at the permanent structure, which is the
Right.
gray box.
Okay.
This is still-
And if for some reason
I'll
they
change it
move
in our meeting.
that,
Well,
that's still the permanent spot,
Got it.
You
okay?
tore up your board.
I know.
but it came pre-assembled.
You know, with a couple of drops of the right.
There's no glue.
Glue,
That's like sacrilegious.
I know.
You don't
It has
have
to be
glue.
But
Lego
from the
glue.
board
Craggle.
No
standpoint,
glue.
that might help
No
with that, so.
Lego don't have glue. And if they do, I don't like them anymore,
I just write Lego on a glue bottle.
okay? So that's the scorpion cage. Okay. We've gone over the planes,
Safely
gone over
cross the
scorpions.
river.
The bridge, there's 4 feet of river or more that they can put this bridge. The bridge consists of this point to the gray point, any point in the middle. As long as an end is touching on both sides, they score. They could have this like that, doesn't matter. As long as there's 2 sides of the bridge touching on both sides of the river, any location, it scores. If it's in the water, no score. Outside, no score. But as long as there's 2 points touching.
And the gray is part of the bridge, as you said in the video. So
Yep. Yep. 2
There you
sides are
go.
touching.
Okay. That's why we have this meeting.
Now, the gray, by the way, the gray part's the abutment.
So as long as
Okay.
there's 2 sides.
Technical.
Now this one
Well,
here,
because you're
this
not
one-
touching over on the other side. but
this one
you're
here,
hanging. That's
technically
my-
you're not touching, so therefore touch is the key word.
It's not
That's
a break the
that's my question,
plane.
right.